Good morning, all of you. Welcome to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone. So today we'll continue lecture 3 of dilute solutions and colligative properties. So far we have completed up to Raoult's law and ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. In today's class we'll complete colligative properties. So what are colligative properties? For our understanding, I'll tell you what is colligative property. If a solute is dissolved in a solution, whenever a solute is dissolved in a solution, the changes that are taking place in a solution are commonly called as colligative properties, in other words. So simply write this statement: whenever a solute is dissolved in a solvent, a non-volatile solute, very, very important, non-volatile solute is dissolved in a solvent, that is volatile solvents, then the changes that are taking place in the solution are commonly called as colligative properties. So these are the properties of dilute solutions of non-volatile solutes in volatile solvents, which depend only on the number of solute particles in a definite amount of the solution, but not on their nature. So what are the changes that are taking place in the solution when a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solvent? So first change, relative lowering of vapor pressure. So whenever a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solvent, the vapor pressure decreases. The vapor pressure of the solution decreases. That is commonly called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Next, elevation in boiling point, depression freezing point, and finally osmotic pressure. So let us see what are the colligative properties now. So what is relative lowering of vapor pressure? As I already told you, if a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, then the vapor pressure of the solvent decreases, that is the solution decreases. This is due to the presence of solute particles at the surface of the solution, and hence less number of solvent molecules is available for vaporization. So the reason is what? Due to the presence of solute particles at the surface of the solution, and hence less number of solvent molecules is available for vaporization, because we have taken the solvent molecules as volatile solids, so volatile liquids. So volatile means which can evaporate easily. So to reduce the evaporation, if a non-volatile solid is added, what happens? Automatically the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. So this is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. And from this, what is the formula we are going to get? Just note down. According to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of a solution is given by P1 is equal to X1 into P1 naught, where P1 naught is called the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Then the reduction of the vapor pressure of solvent becomes P1 naught minus P1, because definitely the vapor pressure of the pure solvent decreases by dissolving a non-volatile solute. Non-volatile solute is very, very important over there. So P1 naught minus P1 is equal to P1 naught minus X1 into P1 by substituting. So because the P1 becomes P1 naught minus P1. So equating that equation, so delta P is called P1 naught minus P1. So delta P is equal to P1 naught into 1 minus X1, that is called mole fraction. So delta P by P1 naught is equal to 1 minus X1, that is equal to X2, because 1 minus X1 is equal to X2, where X2 is the mole fraction of the solute. So by this you can write delta P by P1 naught is equal to P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught, which is equal to mole fraction of solute. So by this you can say the relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of the solute. So this P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught, just note down this P1 naught. I am underlining this box line. You can just see here this P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is together called as RLVP. RLVP, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. And X2 is called mole fraction of solute, is already given. So delta P1 by P1 naught is known as relative lowering of vapor pressure. So from this we got the formula P1 naught minus P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to small w into capital M by capital W into small m. So where small w is called weight of solute, capital W is called weight of solvent, capital M is called molecular weight of solvent, and small m is called molecular weight of solute. So this is the formula which we got it from Raoult's law, and that is also relative lowering of vapor pressure. So this formula how we got? By using mole fraction of solute. Mole fraction of solute is nothing but number of moles of solute by total number of moles of solution. So by equating that, you'll get W into M by capital W into small m. You can remember these words. So small w is called weight of solute, capital W is called weight of solvent, capital M is called molecular weight of solvent, small m is called molecular weight of solute. So if you can write for the same, so for all the weight of solute, weight of solvent, if you use the same letters, it will be easy for you to apply the formula. So I hope this is clear now. So by this you can say relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of solute, that is N2 by N1 plus N2, where N1 and N2 are number of moles of solvent and solute respectively. So the relative lowering of vapor pressure of a solution is equal to the mole fraction of non-volatile solute. This we got it from the Raoult's law. So equation one can also be written as P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught. What is P1 naught? P1 naught is called vapor pressure of the pure component, and P1 is called vapor pressure of the solution. Vapor pressure of the solution after adding solute. After adding solute is very important. And P1 naught again, it is nothing but vapor pressure of pure solution. So that is equal to N2 by N1 plus N2. This is called relative lowering of vapor pressure, which is equal to mole fraction of solute. And this is the first colligative property. So what are colligative properties? When a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a solution, non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solution, the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. This is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. And what are colligative properties? Whenever a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a solution, the changes that are taking place in the solution are commonly called as colligative properties. First change, it is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now, for dilute solutions, very dilute solution, N1 is less than N2. Hence, the equation can be written as P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to N2 by N1. So, no need to take total number of moles of solution. So, N2 by N1, because N1 is very small when compared to N2. What is N1? Number of moles of solute. What is N2? Number of moles of solution. So, by this you can write P1 naught minus P1 by P1 is equal to W2 into M1 by W1 into M2. Same formula which I have given. Here W2 and W1 are called mass of solute and solvent respectively, and M1 and M2 are called molecular mass of solvent and solute respectively. This is the application formula which you are using in the numericals. I am underlining this. So in the numericals, we'll use this formula only for Raoult's law as well as colligative properties. So this formula is important. So if you know in these questions, from dilute solutions, the questions will be bigger in the sense it is very lengthy question. But if you understand it and substitute easily, you'll get the answer. Only thing is patience is required to learn to see the question. So P1 naught is called vapor pressure of pure solution. P1 is called vapor pressure of the solution after adding solute, and P1 naught is called again vapor pressure of the pure solution. So by this, what you can say, P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to together it is called as RLVP, that is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. So where W1 and W2 are called mass of solvent and solute respectively, and M1 and M2 are called molecular mass of solvent and solute respectively. In the previous slide, I have given small w into capital M, capital W into small m. That is the same thing here also. So you can use W2 as molecular mass of solute, and W1 is molecular mass of solvent, and M1 is called molecular mass of solvent, and M2 is called molecular mass of solute. Both are same. So that formula also can apply. This formula both are same only the W1, W2 I have not marked. Just I kept W, small w, capital W. Here also you can do the same thing. I hope it is clear now. Now question based on Raoult's law, you can just see how to solve these questions. The vapor pressure of pure benzene is 0.85 bars. So it is pure benzene, they said. It means P1 naught is equal to 0.85 bars. I have P1 naught is equal to 0.85 bars at a certain temperature. 0.5 grams means weight of solute. Weight of solute is W2, small w2 or small w. Of a non-volatile solute is added to 39 grams of benzene. That is called weight of solvent of benzene. The vapor pressure of the solution becomes 0.845 bar. Means that is nothing but what? P also they are given because P1 naught minus P. P is also given because after adding this non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure decreases to 0.845 bars. So calculate the molar mass of the solute. So they are asking molar mass of solute, that is small m. Small m is equal to how much? So you can take m1, m2 also, this previous formula. So small m is equal to capital M is equal to molecular weight of solvent. Solvent is called benzene, that is C6H6, which is equal to 78. And weight of solute is given, molecular weight of solute only you have to find. So P1 naught minus P. So solution also I'm doing here. P1 naught minus P by P1 naught is equal to small w into capital M by capital W into small m. So small w is called weight of solute, small m is called molecular weight of solute, capital W is called weight of solvent, and capital M is called molecular weight of solvent. So 0.85 minus 0.845 by 0.85 is equal to weight of solute, that is 0.5, into molecular weight of solvent, that is 78, sorry, by weight of solvent into molecular weight of solute. So you have to calculate M value. I hope it is clear now. So this is called 0.5 into 78. So you'll get the answer also. Now we'll check the answer. So calculate this. So in this way, you'll get questions based on vapor pressure of, that is Raoult's law, that is related to lowering of vapor pressure. I hope it is clear now. So you can see P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to W2 into M1 by W1 into M2. So W1 M1 are weight of solute and molecular weight of weight of solvent, molecular weight of solvent. Even you can use this abbreviation, that abbreviation, both are same. So W2 and M2. Here M2 is equal to 172 grams per mole. So this is clear now. Next question. Example 2. Vapor pressure of pure water is 23.888 mm at 298 kelvins. So 23.8 mm at 298 kelvins, vapor pressure of pure water. And even if they have given 760 mm also, we should not, sometimes they will not give vapor pressure of water. But here they have given 23.8 mm at 298 kelvins. 50 grams of urea is added to 850 grams of water. So you know urea is a solute and water is a solvent. Calculate the vapor pressure of the solution and it's related to lowering of vapor pressure. So straight away you have to use the formula P1 naught. Here P1 naught is given 23.8 mm minus P by P1 naught is equal to small w into capital M by capital W into small m. So here everything is given only except P. We have to find P because P1 naught is given 23.8. So you can write the equation now. 23.8 minus X by 23.8 is equal to again I'm writing here 23.8 minus X by 23.8 is equal to, so what is small w? Weight of solute 50 grams into molecular weight of solvent. Solvent is water 18 by weight of solvent 850 grams into weight of solute. Solute is urea. Urea is 60 molecular weight because NH2CO NH2. Urea formula is what? NH2CO NH2. So NH2CO NH2, if we take the molecular weight, it is coming around 60. Now by substituting these values, you'll get the value of X. And after finding X, related to lowering of vapor pressure means that is 23.8 minus X value. If you substitute, that is the answer. So I hope you can understand this. So this solving you can do in your book. Now we'll check the answer. So it is 0.016176. That is related to lowering of vapor pressure. 0. Vapor pressure of solution becomes 23.8 minus 0.0176. So X value is different and final value they are given related to lowering of vapor pressure, that is 23.8 minus X by 23.8. That value is given 0.0176. So this is the methodology to solve this problem. I hope this is clear. Next. So that is about Raoult's law. And at the last, we'll do more questions on Colgate properties. Next, we have second Colgate property, that is elevation in boiling point. So what are the changes that are taking place in the solution is nothing but Colgate properties. Next, we have elevation in boiling point. So the vapor pressure of liquid increases with the increase in temperature, and it starts boiling when the vapor pressure becomes equal to its external pressure. Again, I'm repeating the sentence. The vapor pressure of a liquid increases with the increase in temperature. Already we know that with the increase of temperature, the vapor pressure of the liquid increases and it starts boiling when the vapor pressure becomes equal to its external pressure. Also, the vapor pressure of a liquid is decreased with the addition of non-volatile solute. So the vapor pressure of pure solvent and solution increases with the increase of temperature. So what is elevation boiling point? In simple words, I'll tell you all these things only for notes purpose we are given. But in simple words, whenever a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a solution, the boiling point of the solution increases. I'm writing it again here on statement wise, simple statement I'm writing here. When a non-volatile solute is for our understanding I'm writing, is dissolved in a volatile solution, when some amount of non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solution, the vapor pressure of the solution increases. Sorry, the boiling point of the solution increases. So this is called elevation boiling point. This is called what? Elevation boiling point. In simple way you can understand. So when a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a volatile solution, the boiling point of the solution increases. The vapor pressure of the solution decreases. That is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. And here the boiling point of solution also increases. This is called elevation boiling point. I hope it is clear now. So elevation boiling point. So it is seen that the vapor pressure of the solution reaches the atmospheric pressure at a higher temperature, and the solution boils at higher temperature than the pure solvent. That's what I said. So solution boils at higher temperature than the pure solvent. So naturally that is nothing but the boiling point of the solution increases. So this is called elevation boiling point. Next, it is seen that the vapor pressure of the solution reaches the atmospheric pressure at a higher temperature, and the solution boils at higher temperature than the pure solvent. So this is nothing but elevation boiling point. So vapor pressure, you can see solvent and solution. So they boils at high temperature with the increase of temperature. So delta TB is called change in temperature. Delta TB is called what? Change in temperature. That is temperature of the pure solution after adding solute minus temperature of the pure solution. So that is called delta TB, and this is temperature. Next, the difference in the boiling point of the solution and that of pure solvent is known as elevation boiling point. So delta TB is called elevation boiling point, and this is TB is called boiling point of the solution after adding solute, and TB naught is called boiling point of the pure solution. So without adding solute. So delta TB is called TB minus TB naught. Delta TB is called TB minus TB naught, where TB naught is equal and TB are the boiling points of pure solvent and solution respectively. So TB is called what? Boiling point of the solution after adding solute, and TB naught is called boiling point of the pure solvent. So it is observed that the elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to the molar concentration. It is proportional to molality of the solute. So this is again molar concentration. By this you can write delta TB is proportional to M, and M is called molality of the solute, that is weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by mass of solvent in grams. That is called delta molality, which we have done in the first lecture. So delta TB is proportional to M. For removing proportionality, we have to use delta TB is equal to Kb into M, where Kb is called molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. So molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. So now Delta TB is called what? Elevation boiling point. Next. Ebuloscopic constant is the elevation boiling point obtained for 1 molar solution of any solute. Ebuloscopic constant is the elevation in boiling point obtained for 1 molar solution of any solute. 1 molar solution of any solute. Using elevation in boiling point data, we can conclude molecular mass of solute. For example, delta TB is equal to Kb into M, which we have got. What is M? W2 by M2 into W1 into 1000. That is nothing but what is M? Molality. How to calculate molality? Weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. So same applying this formula, we can find out M2 also, molar mass of solute. So they can ask us to find either elevation boiling point or molar mass of solute in these numericals. I hope it is clear now. So final formula is delta TB is equal to Kb into M, where M is called molality of the solution. Next. Numerical based on this. The boiling point of benzene is 353 kelvins when 1.8 grams. So actual boiling point of benzene is 353 kelvins. So TDKB is equal to, that is TB naught. I'm writing here what is given. Whenever you are solving the numerical, first what is given, you have to write it there itself. So TB naught, it is TB naught is equal to 353 kelvins when 1.8 grams of non-volatile solute is added to 90 grams of benzene. So that is weight of solvent is equal to 90 grams. Weight 1.8 is weight of solute, small w. Weight of solvent is 90 grams. And the boiling point of the solution is increased to 353.9 kelvins. So this is TB, right? Now calculate the molar mass of solute, and they have given Kb of benzene also, 2.5 Kelvin kg per mole. So straight away, you can apply the formula. First, we'll take up delta TB. Delta TB is equal to, that is elevation boiling point is equal to TB minus TB naught, which is equal to TB is given how much? 353.9 and TB naught is 353 kelvins. So it is nothing but 3.9, 0.9, sorry, 0.9 kelvins. So now delta TB is equal to Kb into molarity, that is weight of solute, molarity. Directly I am writing the formula, small w, that is weight of solute, by molecular weight of solute, small m, into 1000 divided by capital W, because weight of solvent. This is the formula for finding molality. So straight away you can substitute. So you know the value of delta TB. Delta TB is equal to 0.9 is equal to Kb value is given 2.5 into weight of solute, that is 1.8 grams, by molecular weight of solute X. This only we have to find out, into 1000 by weight of solvent, that is 90 grams of benzene. So by simple calculation, you get the value of X. I hope it is clear now. So once again, note down delta TB. First, you have to calculate elevation boiling point, because both the boiling point of the solution after adding solute is given and boiling point of the pure solvent is also given. So that is pure solvent is boiling point of pure solvent TB naught is equal to 353 kelvins, and boiling point of the solution after adding 1.8 grams of non-volatile solute is equal to 353.9, and weight of solvent is also given 90 grams, and we need to find molecular weight of solute. So calculate the molar mass of solute, that is nothing but molecular weight of solute. I hope it is clear now. I will check the answer. You can calculate and you'll get the answer definitely. And the answer is 55.55. After substituting this, you will definitely get 55.55. Next question. 18 grams of glucose is added to 1 kg of water. At what temperature will the solution boil at 1 atmospheric pressure? So 18 grams of glucose added to 1 kg of water, 1000 grams of water. So capital W is given. At what temperature? Small w is given, capital W is given. At what temperature will the solution boils at 1 atmospheric pressure? Pressure is not required here, just it is a constant. So boiling point of pure water is 373 kelvins, already we know. And Kb value for water is 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. Kelvin kg per mole. Now, what you are supposed to find? We are supposed to find after adding glucose, what happens to the boiling point of the solution? That is TB you have to find, because TB not we know, but TB we don't have, right? So first find delta TB first, then afterwards you can find TB. So let us see now, delta TB is equal to KB into small w by small m into 1000 by capital W. Now, first substitute this, then you'll get delta TB. Delta TB is equal to KB value is 0.52 into weight of solute, that is 18 grams of glucose, by molecular weight of solute 180, because glucose molecular weight is 180, C6H12O6, so it is 180 into 1000 by weight of solvent is again 1000, because 1 kg is given, so 1000 grams. So 1000 gets cancelled, so 180 by 0.52 by 10. So 0.52 by 10 is 0.052. 0.52 by 10 is equal to 0.052. So now TB is equal to, so already we know delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught. TB minus TB naught. By this you can write TB is equal to delta TB plus TB is equal to delta TB plus TB naught. So what is delta TB? We got 0.052 plus 373. So 0.052 plus 373, because 373 is TB naught. We have a boiling point of pure water, which is coming around 373.052. So this is the answer exactly. So what temperature the solution will boil at 1 atmospheric pressure? The solution will boil after adding this glucose, boils at 373.052 kelvins. I hope this is clear now. Just make a note. So here they have given delta TB, they have not given. Just elevation boiling point first you have to find by using that given data, because small w, capital W, and KB is given. From that, this is enough for finding delta TB. Small w, capital W, and KB is given. So once you find delta TB, that is becoming 0.052. It means what? Elevation boiling point is 0.052. Means what? When 18 grams of glucose is dissolved in 1 kg of water, the boiling point increases by 0.052 kelvins. So actual boiling point of the solution after adding the solute, we have to ask, because they are asking at what temperature the solution boil. Means what solution? Water containing glucose. That solution. So that solution is nothing but TB. So from the formula we know delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught. Means TB is equal to delta TB minus TB naught. So TB is nothing but boiling point of the solution after adding solute. So that becomes 373.052 kelvins. I hope it is clear now. Next question. So 373.052, 373.52. This is clear. Next question. So this is about depression freezing point. Sorry, elevation boiling point. Next colligative property we'll see depression freezing point. So depression freezing point. So it is a what is depression freezing point? So that is next colligative property. Third colligative property we are discussing now. Third colligative property. So that is depression freezing point. So it is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of liquid solvent is equal to vapor pressure of the solid solvent. So again you see, it is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid solvent is equal to vapor pressure of the solid solvent. If a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, the vapor pressure of the solvent is decreased. This decrease in vapor pressure of the solution leads to a decrease in freezing point of the solution also, compared to that of pure solvent. So this is nothing but depression freezing point. So whenever a non-volatile solute is added to a solvent, the vapor pressure of the solvent is decreased. That already we know from Raoult's law. And this decrease in vapor pressure of the solution, leads to a decrease in freezing point of the solution compared to that of pure solvent. So it means depression in freezing point. The word depression means decrease in freezing point takes place. So in simple words, when a non-volatile solute is added to a volatile solution, the freezing point of the solution decreased. The freezing point of the solution decreases. This is called as depression freezing point. For example, if you take water solution, you know water freezes at 0 kelvins. Water freezes at 0 kelvins. Suppose in that water, if you add small amount of non-volatile solute, naturally its freezing point is less than 0. Freezing point will become less than 0, that is in minus. So this is called depression freezing point. So 0 degrees C is called freezing point of water. It is not 0 Kelvin, sorry. 0 degrees C is freezing point of water. And when you add a non-volatile solute to the water solution, that freezing point further decreases, that is less than 0 it becomes. So this is called depression freezing point. I hope it is clear. So when a non-volatile solute is dissolved in a solution, the freezing point of the solution decreases. This is called as depression freezing point. This is another colligative property. So the third change observed in the solution is depression freezing point. So the difference between the freezing point of pure solvent and that of solution is known as depression freezing point. So further, delta TF is equal to TF degree minus TF. What is delta TF? Depression freezing point. And TF degree is called TF naught or TF degree. Simply we say TF naught. TF naught is called freezing point of the pure solution. And TF is called freezing point of the solution after adding solute. So TF naught and TF are the freezing points of pure solvent and solution respectively. So this is called depression freezing point. And it is observed that depression freezing point is also proportional to molality of the solution. And next case, you can see it is seen that vapor pressure of the solution becomes equal to that of solid solvent at a lower temperature. Vapor pressure of the solution becomes equal to that of solid solvent at a lower temperature. Thus, the freezing point of the solution becomes lower, and hence we can see the diagram solvent or solute. These graphs are important for depression freezing point as well as elevation boiling point. So note down these graphs. Delta TF is given and solution is given. Solvent, solid, solvent, liquid is given. So next we have. So it is observed as I already told you, it is observed that depression freezing point for dilute solution is directly proportional to its molar concentration. So delta TF is proportional to M, or delta TF is equal to KF into M. Hence we can write delta TF is equal to KF into molality of the solution. Molality is same. So where KF is known as molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. Cryoscopic constant or molar depression constant. Similarly, KB is called molar the elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. The same way here, KF also. Now, by applying this formula, we got finally delta TF is equal to KF into W2 by M2 by W1 into 1000. The same molality formula, that is weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent. Weight of solvent. In these cases, molecular weight of solvent is not at all required in elevation boiling point as well as in depression freezing point. Whereas in this, what we say, relative lowering of vapor pressure, we require molecular weight of solvent also. But here we don't require molecular weight of solvent, we require only weight of solvent. Now, next expressions for KB and KF. Thermodynamically, ebullioscopic constant and cryoscopic constant are given by KB is equal to RTB square M, where R is called gas constant, TB square is nothing but boiling point of the pure solution. M is called molarity by 1000 into delta H vaporization. M is called molecular weight. So M is the molecular weight of solvent. Molecular weight of solvent is not molarity. M is called. These two formulas are also most important. So KB is equal to RTB square M. These two formulas are most important. You can just note it down. KB is equal to RTB square M by 1000 delta H of vaporization, and KF is equal to RTF square M. TF square means what? That is freezing point of the pure solution, and freezing point, the boiling point of the pure solution, pure solvent, sorry, not solution. So RTF square M by 1000 into delta H of fusion. So where TB and TF are called boiling points and freezing point of solvent respectively, and M is called molecular mass of the solvent, delta H and delta H of vaporization, delta H of fusion are enthalpy of vaporization and enthalpy of fusion of solvent. So these two formulas are also important. Next, now questions based on depression in freezing point. 50 grams of ethylene glycol is mixed with 800 grams of water. So 50 grams is called weight of solute, and 800 grams of water, weight of solvent, capital W. And calculate the freezing point of solution. The freezing point of water is given 273 kelvins. This is called TF. TF. T degree F actually. Writing it clear. It is nothing but T degree of F. And Kf is also given. So what you are supposed to find? Freezing point of the solution, that is TF after adding. So we have to find TF. TF is equal to how much? Now we already know delta TF is equal to delta TF Kf into M. So substituting this formula, delta TF is equal to Kf value is given how much? 1.86 into M value, that is weight of solute, 50 by weight of molecular weight of solute, ethylene glycol, CH2OH, CH2OH. Writing the formula, CH2OH and CH2OH. It is called ethylene glycol because 2 carbons. And 2 carbons means 24, and 4 hydrogens, 6 hydrogens, 30, and 2 oxygens, 32. So 62 is the molecular weight of ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol, 1 minute, wait. Yes, let us calculate ethylene glycol molecular weight. Ethylene glycol. So it is ethylene glycol molecular weight is the same. It is nothing but CH2OH, CH2OH. So carbon is 12, carbon is 12, 12 carbon, 2 carbons, 24, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 hydrogens, that is 30, and 2 oxygens, that is 32. So total it is 62. So 50 by 62 into 1000 by weight of solvent, that is 800. So by calculation, we got 10, 0 gets cancelled. So 50 into 10, 500 by 62 into 8. So 62 into 8 is equal to 496. So we got 500 by 496. 500 divided by, because 50 into 10 into 1.86. So 500 into 1.86 is equal to 500 into 1.86, because Kf value also 930. So 930 divided by 496. 930 divided by 496, which is coming out of 1.875. So 1.875 kelvins. Now we already know delta TF is equal to T degree F, sorry, TF minus T degree F. TF minus TF minus T degree F. So we know we want to find TF. TF is equal to, that is T degree F, that is 273 plus 1.875. So it is 274.875. 274.875 kelvins. I hope this is clear now. Now I'll check the answer. So 271 point minus we have to do. Actually, we have done mistake there. From 273 minus, because minus 1, it's nothing but 273 minus 1.875. 273 minus 1.875 because depression freezing point takes place. So it is nothing but 271.125. 271.125 kelvins. So this is clear now. Next, a 5% solution, weight by weight they have given. Here they have changed it typically. A 5% solution of cane sugar. Cane sugar formula is C12H22O11. Nothing but sucrose, molecular weight 342. C12H22O11. So nothing but sucrose in water has a freezing point of 272.7 kelvins. 5% solution has freezing point of 272.7 kelvins. Calculate the freezing point of 5% solution of weight by weight of glucose in water. So by comparing this, they are asking 5% solution of weight by weight. Whenever they are given weight by weight so concentration, easily we can find molality. And freezing point of water is given, and Kf of water also we know that is 0. They are not given Kf. So from this we can find out Kf of water from the first solution. So just you can see now delta Tb is equal to, is very typical problem and easy also once if you know the logic. So delta Tb is equal to Kf into M, where M is called molality. But 5% weight by weight solution means 5% of solute is dissolved in 95 grams of solvent. So you can write here 5 grams of 5% of solution means what? 5 grams of glucose dissolved in 95 grams of water. That is called the definition of weight by weight percentage. From weight by weight percentage, we can find out the volume. So I'm writing the statement 5 grams of glucose dissolved in 95 grams of water. So now you know the weight of solute, you know mass of weight of solvent, and you know the solute molecular weight, and finally you can find out Kf value is 1.86 for water. So they have not mentioned, they have forgot to mention the Kf value. So by using this formula, you can find out delta Tb, and freezing point afterwards nothing but that is 273 minus delta Tb. Freezing point is equal to that is T delta. Freezing point is equal to of the solution is equal to 273 minus delta Tb. So no need to take cane sugar into consideration, directly you can take this. So I hope this is clear now. So you'll get the answer. I'm showing the answer now. So delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 into 1000 by W1 into M2, as I already told you. So from this you got delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 into, and Kf is given 1.95 Kelvin kg per mole. From the first case we can find Kf value. In the second case you can find Tf value, and that becomes 272.43. You can see here from the first case you can find Kf because Kf is not given. So rest of all given. Delta Tf is also given. Delta Tf is how much? 272.7 means what? 273 minus 272.7. That is becoming delta Tf. So first case delta Tf we know, and W1 is W2 weight molecular weight of solute also So finally substituting 5% solution of cane sugar means nothing but 5 grams of cane sugar dissolved in 100 grams of water. Sorry, 95 grams of water. So 5 grams of cane sugar dissolved in 95 grams of water. So again, I'm solving here. Just note it down. Delta TF is equal to, from the first, because they have not given Kf, delta TF is equal to, delta TF value is how much? 273 minus 272.7. 273 minus 272.7. 273 minus 272.7. It is coming around 0.3. So 0.3 is delta TF. So 0.3 is equal to, for this equation I'm writing here, 0.3 is equal to Kf value we don't know into W2, weight of solute. W2 is what? Weight of solute, that is 5 grams, that's 5% they have given, into 1000 by molecular weight of solute. Cane sugar molecular weight is 342 into 95. Weight of solvent is 95. So from this you can get Kf value. Substitute the value of Kf in this equation and find delta Tf. After getting delta Tf, 273 Kf Tf becomes 273 minus delta Tf. So I hope this is clear now. Yes. Next question. So we have completed 3 colligative properties. That is, where relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, and depression freezing point. Now we'll do some more questions based on this. That is previous competitive questions from this topic. Question number 1. Since more questions are not there, I want to give more questions. Question number 1. 6 grams of urea is dissolved in 6 grams of urea is dissolved in 90 grams of boiling water. The vapor pressure of the solution is the same question has come for JEE means. So the vapor pressure of the solution is, they have given nothing, just like this only they have given. Solution is, first option 744.8 mm. Second option 758 mm. Third option 761 mm. And fourth option 760 mm. So now I'm proceeding to this problem. Just all of you see here now. Clearly listen there carefully. 6 grams of urea is dissolved in 90 grams of water, boiling water. So there's nothing but what RLVP case. RLVP is what? Related to lowering of vapor pressure. So water is a pure solution and boiling water in 6 grams of urea is dissolved in boiling water. Then what happens? Automatically the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. But they are not given vapor pressure of boiling water. That is most important. For water they will not mention because already you know pure water boils at vapor pressure of boiling water is equal to 760 mm. So P1 naught is equal to 760 mm. This should be, you have to remember, because they will not give pure water vapor pressure of water. So vapor pressure of water is 760 mm. So naturally it should decrease. So answer will be either first option or second option, because it cannot be third option that is slightly higher than 760, and fourth option anyway 760 is also not possible. So only A and B is possible. Now let us just find the solution. We know the formula P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to weight of solute, small w, into capital M by capital W into small m. So that is also equal to, now we are substituting the formula now, implies P1 naught is 760 minus X, because we have to find P1 only, because they are asking vapor pressure of the solution, is equal to 6 grams of urea into molecular weight of solute 18, solvent that is, by weight of solvent 90 grams into weight of solute urea is 60, NH2CO NH2, NH2CO NH2. So nitrogen 14 like that if you add, so you'll get 60. So 6 ones are 6 tens are 18 ones are 18 fives are 5 times. So 1 by 50, 760 minus X by 760 is equal to 1 by 50, implies 760 minus X is equal to 760 minus X is equal to 760 by 50. So 0, 0 gets cancelled because this 760 have sent this side. So 0, 0 gets cancelled. 76 by 5. 76 by 5 is equal to, so 76 by 5 I'm doing here now. 76 by 5 is equal to 15.2. So 760 minus 15.2, which is equal to 744.8 mm of H. So this is called 744.8 answer. So first option. Don't clear now. 744.8. So I hope this is clear. Just copied on this question. So 6 grams of urea is dissolved. What is the difference in this question is they will not give boiling point. They will not give vapor pressure of the solution. That is water solution. Always vapor pressure of water is 760 mm. 760 mm of Hg, because it is taken as atmospheric pressure. 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 mm. So vapor pressure of water solution is 760 mm. That they will not mention in the exam. So you have to remember this. So I hope this is clear now. Next question. Next, very typical question. This is also the weight of urea to be dissolved. The weight of urea. The weight of urea to be dissolved in 100 grams of water. In 100 grams of water. To decrease the vapor pressure of water by 5% is to decrease the vapor pressure of water. To decrease the vapor pressure of water by 5% is, so very simple problem. They have not given anything. And option 1, 20 grams. Option 2, 14.66 grams. Option 3, 15.24 grams. So they have given the options very close. So you have to calculate correctly. And option D, 16.66 grams. 16.66 grams. So this is the question now. So what they are asking us to find? They are asking weight of solute to be dissolved. Weight of urea to be dissolved in 100 grams of water such that the vapor pressure of water decreases by 5%. So 5% is what? That is nothing but 5 by 100. In this case, relative lowering of vapor pressure is 5%. That is very, very important. RLVP is equal to 5%. Now what is RLVP? P1 naught minus P1 by P1 naught is equal to 5%. There is nothing but 5 by 100. This value you have to take. Now, you know the formula. 5 by 100 is equal to 5 by 100 is equal to weight of solute. What is weight of solute? We have to know. Molecular weight of, yes, and weight of solvent. They have capital W into small m. So small w we don't know. That is x. 5 by 100 is equal to x into molecular weight of solvent 18 by weight of solvent 100 grams into molecular weight of solute 60. Now you have to solve this. So x into 18, 18x by 100 into 60. So 16, 18, 18 divided by 60, and you can take 2 9s are 2 30s are. 2 30s are 2 9s are. So 9 by 100 into 30. 3 3s are 3 10s are. Now, so by this you can write 100 and 100 gets cancelled. So x is equal to 5 by 0.3. So 5 divided by 0.3, 16.66. X is equal to 16.66 grams. That is fourth option. So I hope it is clear now. In this way also they'll give the question. They want to always simplify the question and try to confuse the students. So they, instead of giving vapor pressure of water and after adding this much of weight, they have given directly if some weight of urea is to be dissolved in 100 grams of water, so that the vapor pressure of water becomes 5%, decreases by 5%. Decreases by 5% means you have to take the 5% itself is taken as RLVP. That is the most important point. Next question. Next question. An aqueous solution containing an aqueous solution containing 1 gram of urea, 1 gram of urea boils at 100.25 degrees C. The aqueous solution contains the aqueous solution containing the aqueous solution containing aqueous solution containing 3 grams of glucose in the same volume will boil it in the same volume will boil it. First option 100 degrees C. Second option 100.25 degrees C. Third option 100.5 degrees C. And fourth option 100.75 degrees C. So in this case, an aqueous solution containing 1 gram of urea boils at 100.25 degrees C. So when it contains 1 gram of urea, it is boiling at 100.25 degrees C. Now same aqueous solution, same volume, but if you add instead of 1 gram, 3 grams of glucose, what will happen? At what? So it is independent of weight of solute added. So answer is 100.25 degrees C only for this question, because they have given same volume. If the weight of solute is weight of solvent is changed, then only we can say, but weight of solvent is not changed. So, and even the solvent type also not changed, that is same water solution. So answer is 100.25 degrees C only. This for confusion sake they have given. So same volume, so no change in boiling point. No change in boiling point. Next question. So this is previous medical question now. The molarity of aqueous solution. Molarity of an aqueous solution that produces an elevation of boiling point of the molarity of an aqueous solution that produces an elevation of boiling point of 1 Kelvin, boiling point of an elevation of boiling point of boiling point BP of 1 Kelvin at 1 atmospheric pressure. At 1 atmospheric pressure, given Kb is equal to 0.512 Kelvin kg per mole. Kelvin kg per mole. So they're asking us what? Molality of an aqueous solution. So already we know delta TB is given 1 Kelvin. So delta TB solution now. Delta TB is equal to Kb into M. And M is equal to, implies M is equal to, they're asking molality only, delta TB by Kb. So delta TB is given already 1 Kelvin by 0.52. So 1 divided by 0.52, 0.512. 1 divided by 0.512 is coming around 1.95. 1.95 molar aqueous solution. So like this simple question also they'll ask for NEET and JEE means. Next question. Next question. This is also previous medical question. The solution containing 6.8 grams of non-volatile solute, 6.8 grams of non-volatile solute in 100 grams of water, in 100 grams of water was found to freeze at minus 0.93 degrees C. Now, if Kf for water is equal to, if Kf for water is 1.86, then the molar mass of solute is, then the molar mass of solute is, first option, so options not required directly because we can do the sum easily. So solution containing 6.8 grams of solute. So we know delta TB is equal to 0 minus 0.93, because delta TB is minus 0.93 means it is less than 0. So it should be 0.93 degrees C, because delta 2B is already given 0.93. Sorry, 0 minus 0.93. How to calculate delta TB? Because was found to freeze, the freezing point of the solution. So delta TB is equal to TB minus 0.93. So 0 minus 0.93 is equal to how much? So actually the freezing point of water, just we'll change the degrees into kelvins. We know 273. 0 degrees is equal to 273 kelvins. 0 degrees C is equal to 273 kelvins. So 273 kelvins, not degree. For kelvins, no need to write degree again. So 0.93 degrees C, that is minus 0.93, means is nothing but what? 273 minus 0.93. 273 minus 0.93, which is equal to 272.707. 273 minus 0.93, which is equal to 272.07, because whenever you dissolve a non-volatile solute, the freezing point decreases. So freezing point decreases to 272.07. Next, so delta TB value is equal to 273 minus 272.07. 272 minus, so straight away we can take 0.93 again. So delta TB is equal, for your understanding I have given, delta TB is equal to 273 minus 272.07 is equal to 0.93. Now we know delta TB value. So delta TB is equal to Kf into m. That is weight of solute by molecular weight of solute, small m into capital M molar mass of solvent. No, it is into 1000 by molecular weight of solvent. So W, small w, Kf into small m into 1000 by capital M. So use this formula. So Kf is equal to how much? 1.86. So delta T is equal to 0.93 is equal to 1.86 into weight of solute 6.8 by X into 1000 by weight of solvent 100 grams. So 1000 by 100 is 10. So we can write 1000 by 100 is 10 times. So X into 0. So X is equal to straight away. X is equal to 1.86. X is equal to 1.86 into 6.8 into 10 divided by 0.93. So answer is 136. So 136 grams. 136 grams. So I hope it is clear now. So next we'll discuss in the next class. That is other property that is called osmotic pressure of colligative property. So in this class we have successfully discussed 3 colligative properties and sums related to the colligative properties. I'm ending this session. So next class we'll continue. Thank you.